Well, another absolutely astonishing local by-election result this week. Before I get to that though, please, if you haven't yet, head over to Heather News, my Substack newsletter, to stay in touch with me. I did write about all of this morning. You can read my article. I'll put a link down below to that. But look, in terms of where we are in British politics right now, it is unprecedented because for the third time in a row, Find Out Now have got the top two parties as being Reform, ahead by an absolute country mile. But then the Greens in second place, followed by the Conservatives, and actually Labour now fourth on just 15%. And you've seen similar results in the last three Find Out Now polls that have had Reform first and the Greens second. And that is why you're beginning to see, of course, Labour absolutely falling apart with a Prime Minister who doesn't seem to believe in anything. And you can see here Nigel Farage hitting back at all this tough talk we're suddenly getting from the government. The fact is, Shabana Mahmood, of course, coming in as Home Secretary. Well, under her watch, already a further 10,000 plus people have been allowed to cross illegally from France to England. We've seen more than 50,000 people crossing under this government. And you can see here, in terms of the ridiculous levels now, 400,000 people have claimed asylum since 2021. It was 150,000 between 2011 and 2015. Only 100,000 failed asylum seekers have been removed since 2021. Only 1 in 4 are deported. And so we all know, I think, in this country increasingly that this situation cannot be allowed to go and that we need to see massive political change. And that has been hugely reflected in a very dramatic local by-election result this week. Well, I'm delighted to say that today's video is sponsored by Y-Food. And as someone, when I was younger, who didn't take the best of care of myself in terms of my diet, what was put into my body, I do now. I try and go to the gym and eat healthy as much as I possibly can. And Y-Food, I've been really impressed with this product, with the drinks and with the bars as well. Y-Food, the drink, is a complete balanced, ready-to-drink meal. 26 vitamins and minerals, 30 grams of protein, fibre, lactose-free, gluten-free, and no added sugar. My personal favourite so far being this one, the classic Choco. But there are bars as well, the roasted hazelnut being my favourite. And the aim of these is to give you something that's filling, that's a proper portion, but also is balanced, wholesome and delicious. So it's convenient. Give it a try. If you want to check out a special offer for Y-Food, do see the link below this video. And it's a pretty big verdict, this by-election result, because this is in the constituency of the Reform Deputy Leader and Reform MP, Richard Tice. Before I get to the exact result though, we can just see now the big trends we've seen since the last set of local elections in terms of the local by-election results. You can see very clearly here what's going on across the country. Reform up 47, the Lib Dems up 18. A lot of hype about the Greens, but they're actually only up 2. The Conservatives down 20, so that decline continues. And Labour absolutely decimated, down 38. So that gives you an idea as to the trend of what is going on in this country right now. And you can also see this local council by-election result this week, Reform's highest ever vote share in any election. And it was, as I said, in Richard Tice's constituency. Reform on 65.8% of the vote. That is extraordinary. The Conservatives decimated. Reform taking this seat from the Conservatives. And just as well, look at that Labour percentage, down close to 28 points to barely above 5% support. And I think when you see, for instance, Danny Kruger, who of course is now putting together the Reform plan for massive sweeping political change in a Reform government, you can see when you hear from this guy why Labour and the establishment are so terrified.
This government believes in the international human rights framework, which means that you can't deport illegal immigrants on arrival. Well, you're not doing it, and it's because of legal challenges under the Human Rights Act, which your party brought in. What we absolutely do need to do is do what you said, which is deport people. You won't do it, and I'm afraid it's disingenuous to suggest that these young men who are coming over here do not represent a disproportionate threat to women and children. That is statistically the fact. So to protect them, and also, by the way, to do the right thing by the many millions of people around the world who are displaced and who need help, prioritising the rich, fit young men who can afford to pay thousands of pounds to break into our country illegally, that is not compassionate, either to them or to our people. So yes, we need to deport people who come in here illegally. The only way to do that is to get out of the European Convention on Human Rights, which you guys won't do.
No,